Got a catch.
We get ready to welcome everybody in as the first play of the game goes right up the middle for about a half yard as you welcome in tonight's coverage of the Orem Tigers and the Spanish Fork Dons. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst as we get set ready to go from shotgun. It's going to be Hunter Van Buren. The junior drops back to pass, throws down the sideline. That's complete. Going to be good enough for a first down. And that's Enoch Fiso, and that's a first down for Orem.
Yeah, and the one thing you're going to see the Tigers do tonight is they're going to throw the ball all over the field. Van Buren last week had 266 yards passing and 5 touchdowns.
And so that's definitely something to keep an eye on as they give it right up the middle with Katoa. Katoa is going to get maybe a yard out to the 35-yard line as right there. In fact, they're going to give him about, they're going to end up giving him about 3 out across the 35-yard line. No, sorry, that was just the first down. It was second and inches as Hunter Van Buren and Orem will move quick. Again, the kind of the screen pass out towards the sideline, complete to Cody Codner, number 18, but a flag on the play, and you have to think maybe either a shift or a hold very quickly coming against Orem.
I think they might have had somebody lined up off sides that time. That was a quick flag as soon as the ball was snapped or some sort of procedure, or ineligible man downfield. But Orem's going to go fast tonight, it looks like.
Looks like the penalty here is against Spanish Fork as they're communicating with the Orem sidelines.
It's a legal receiver downfield, ineligible.
There you go. And so that's going to push Orem back. And so, Chris, you talked about a little bit last week. Spanish Fork came in, and they did a great job against Mountain View. Maybe left some points on the board, or on the field, I guess you could say. But what's the keys tonight for Spanish Fork?
Yeah, I think the keys are going to be to limit those penalties and turnovers. They had way too many negative mental mistakes last week, and the other thing is they're going to have to rely on that defensive line to get a lot of pressure on Van Buren. And then on offense, you've just got to keep with it. And receivers need to come up with a few more catches this week, and they need to limit a couple of INTs. And I think this is going to be a big challenge for Spanish Fork because Orem last week beat up on Uinta 52-16.
The give, Van Buren's going to roll out of the pocket, looks down the field, got a man, that's Codner out across midfield into Spanish Fork territory out to the 47-yard line, first down Tigers. So Orem's come out moving the ball, and Chris, you talked about it, they beat up on Uinta. They're going to go quick. We're seeing this no-huddle kind of Oregon-style offense so far.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to keep up with the Orem Tigers with our commentary, I can tell right now.
Right up the middle. Here's Natoa again. He's got a big hole out across the 40. Makes the man miss the 30. Down to the 25. It's a foot race. Down to the 10. Lowers his head. He's going to be tripped up at around the 6-yard line. It's first and goal Orem. And all of a sudden, this fast-paced offense for Orem has the Tigers first and goal.
Yeah, that was a touchdown-saving tackle by Argyle that time coming out from his free safety position. But wow, Spanish Fork, hopefully they're in shape because Orem is going to run the ball fast.
Down to the 25. It's a foot race. As we see our first Car Guys instant replay of the night, they're going to go trips to the top of your screen. Van Buren going to throw a 3-step drop, throws it in and behind. His intended receiver was Codner, and that's a dangerous ball because Spanish Fork had that corner starting to slide over. That ball's thrown a little bit harder. That could have been a pick.
Yeah, he threw it in between nobody. I wonder if he saw there was nobody there and was just throwing it away, or there might have been miscommunication with the receiver that time, but that just looked completely out of sync. Now they've switched to this pistol formation.
They're going to give it right up the middle. Natoa, he's going to lower his head. He's going to get inside the 5 down to about the 4-yard line. So now it's going to be third and goal coming up. And this would be a big stop, I think, here. Spanish Fork can prevent Orem from getting in the end zone. It's going to be a big stop defensively to just maybe try to limit them to 3 here.
Yeah. And Natoa is their big back as he had 65 yards on 17 carries against Uinta.
Pistol formation, fade route, going to throw the jump ball, and he throws it incomplete out of the back of the end zone. The intended receiver, I believe there, once again, was Codner, number 18, and that one goes incomplete. So fourth down decision time coming here for the Orem Tigers, and they look like they're going to take the points here early on.
And, anytime you want to kick the ball at the high school level, it's always risky. We'll see how well the kicking game is here for Orem, but obviously they made a field goal last week since the score was 52-16.
Ryan Gomer, number 16, on for the try, which will be somewhere around a 20-yard kick. Ball on the left hash. And the snap is low. It's going to be down. The kick is no good. Just a low kind of just kicked it right on the ground. That's going to be no good. So the Spanish Fork defense maybe bend but not break, but they definitely got caught a break on that drive.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet there as Orem drove the ball clear down to the 5, had first and goal, and was unable to get the ball in the end zone. I think if you're the Dons, you got to be taking a big sigh of relief there as they dodged a bullet.
So now we turn to the Don offense led by the quarterback, Nate Kiesel, who Kiesel went 12 of 30 last week, 239 yards and 3 scores. But we do want to also welcome in here momentarily. We'll bring our sponsors into it after this play as Kiesel set from shotgun with 3 receivers on first down. Kiesel's going to give it right up the middle and getting a couple there. It looks to be, I believe that might have been, that was number 32, Duncan Williams on the carry, the junior running back who got the call. We do want to thank our sponsors for making this game possible: 2 Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, and the Car Guys, and of course our entire crew here at Spanish Fork 17 that is scattered throughout the field here at Spanish Fork tonight. Ready to go. Kiesel set from shotgun. He's got 3 receivers and a single back. Kiesel going to step back to throw his first pass of the game. That's in and out of the hands. That was intended there for number 35, Tuita, and that one just goes out of his hands for a 3rd down.
Yeah, Tuita has had the case of the drops here. Wonder if his confidence is starting to be affected. He dropped a few against Mountain View, but he just needs to catch and then run. I think he's too worried about making the big play before he actually catches the ball, as we can see that on the Car Guys instant replay. And also, Ryan, you can catch this game on YouTube, and the Maple Mountain game is airing on Channel 16 as well.
Maple Mountain at home for Corner Canyon. The Golden Eagles, a 3-point win last week at home over Woods Cross. Kiesel ready to go. Flags fly. That one's going to be complete. That's out to Salili out across the 35 to the 36-yard line, but this one could be potentially coming back.
Yeah, it looks like we have another issue with somebody lining up on legal procedure.
And so that's going to pull that penalty back. So instead of a first down, now you're sitting at a 3rd and 12. And that's going to be a big opportunity here. Nate Kiesel a chance to show off his arm, but at the same time, you had a first down.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake. And we talked earlier that one of the keys for Spanish Fork to beat this tough Orem team is they've got to minimize those penalties.
Number 18, Mace Funa runs in here. He'll check in for the play. 8:27 to go, first quarter, no score. Orem getting some big plays offensively, but then misses their field goal. I like the play clock here at Spanish Fork. 5 on that play clock here for Kiesel. From shotgun, he says drop back to throw. Has some time, good pocket, now being pressured, he'll roll away. At the 10, he's going to be chased. He's going to throw it the last second almost. Threw it into coverage, but it went incomplete for a 4th down.
Yeah, he had Brooks Ringer open there on the side, but he waited too long, and then he made a dangerous pass trying to get out of it. At some point, you just got to take a sack or move up the field faster.
There we see on the Car Guys instant replay. Put that in. I mean, Ringer was there, but the defender was all over him.
Well, the defender had about 5 seconds to catch up as well.
So Way Stanton, number 12, is going to come in to punt. He's going to be standing back at around his own 3-yard line. Orem with the 2 backs ready to return it. Stanton, the rugby-style punt, the low line drive is going to take a bounce around the 44. It might have hit it didn't blow it dead, as it looked like it hit one of the Dons, but it's going to be not the best punt, as it's going to give Orem great field position. And Chris, a Tiger offense that moved down the field the first time, this isn't what you can do, is give them great field position.
Yeah, they just ran into some mental mistakes as soon as they got down to the 5, but this is ideal field position for Orem here, as I think Spanish Fork dodged the bullet, because that ball hit Tuite at about the 35-yard line, didn't it? Could have been worse. I think it hit him.
Everybody's set, ready to go. The officials getting everything set, ready to go. Hunter Van Buren now, when kind of a strong pistol formation, gives it right up the middle. Natoa on the carry. He's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage here, and that's going to bring up about a 2nd and about 10 coming up. One thing Spanish Fork did really well last week, they held Mountain View to something like 2.3 yards per play. If they can do that, especially trying to stop that run, they're going to make teams go pretty much one-dimensional against them.
And if I'm Orem here, Spanish Fork had no answer for the pass. Of course, they did give up that big run as well.
Natoa again on the other side, tripped up, as it looked like that was
Landon Jensen that time with the big tackle.
The junior linebacker just came in, and the best spot to go for that tackle, Chris, is just come in and take the legs out.
Or was that? Yeah, it was Landon Jensen. Mace Funa, the freshman, lost his helmet and had to run off.
So 3rd and 12, Tigers looking for the 36-yard line. Van Buren from that pistol formation. He's going to go play action, rolls out. Now going to go down the field. Got a man. That was caught, but he was out of bounds as the receiver there was Chase Herman. But a great pass and great catch, but you got to get that foot in bounds if you're Orem.
Yeah, and Herman's a good guy you got to watch out if you're the Dons. He had 6 catches last week for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. He just needed another foot on that sideline and it would have been a big play.
It's right there. You see great coverage, though, too, by Colt Condi there running step for step, really making the quarterback there put it in only one spot, and that spot was out of bounds.
Yeah, great job by the defense there that time getting a 3 and out. It was great pressure by those linebackers and defensive line.
Gomer on to punt, flags fly, as probably with the way this came in, either a false start.
It's a sideline warning.
A sideline warning here, it looks like, is called
on Spanish Fork.
Against Spanish Fork here is a.
Everybody needs to back up a little bit here, Ryan. They're all amped up for this game. This is a huge test for the Dons tonight.
Ready to go. Gomer back at his own 36-yard line. High snap. He's going to have to be chased. He does get it down. Mace Funa with some pressure. Fair catch is called up over his head. It takes a nice Orem bounce. It's going to be down. It looks like he saved it. They're trying to say it's a touchback, but they're going to say it's down inside the 1-yard line. You can't ask for a better punt there if you're the Orem Tigers.
Yeah, it was a great punt that time. I want to see the replay. I think that ball bounced back into the end zone.
A great last-ditch effort there to dive and maybe pull that ball out of the end zone here. We'll see if we have the Car Guys instant replay coming here. It's going to be interesting as we slow it down for you. Great job by Mickey Jarvis there on the coverage.
We don't have the angle for it, but he definitely bobbled it, and it was close. But the ref was down there and had a great angle, so we'll say it's Spanish Fork ball at the 1. They only have 99 yards to go here for the touchdown.
Kiesel from the pistol right up the middle, going outside and getting the carry out to around the 2.5, maybe the 3-yard line.
That's Funa with the carry that time, and every time he carries the ball, he worries me. He needs to put 2 hands on that ball in traffic.
One of those situations, though, too, I'm waiting for him to break a big one based off of the power that he has. If he gets in some secondaries, you're going for these arm tackles, he's going to break one of these days.
He is, and he is a big, strong animal out there, and he's also a BYU commit.
6:14 to go here in the first quarter. No score. So far, the Orem Tigers putting a lot of pressure here on Spanish Fork. Kiesel going to be chased. He's going to throw over the middle. Incomplete, and a dangerous ball thrown over the middle there.
And he's slow to get up. He took a hit that time.
And that's a dangerous ball throwing that screen pass in the middle of the field because Orem had 4 guys there. We'll see on the Car Guys instant replay. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. That's maybe not the pass you want Kiesel throwing in that situation.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Jordan Smith's heart skipped a beat as he saw that ball in the air across the middle and behind his intended receiver.
Kyler Anderson, the senior safety for Orem, was right in the vicinity. And now it's going to put Spanish Fork, in a 3rd and 8 from their own 2. Back to drop, back to throw. With some time, throws the out route up and over the head there of number 84, Jackson Higginson. Higginson leaped for it, but it was over his head. And for the second time tonight, Spanish Fork's going to have to punt. Chris, we talked about before the game with the amount of points both of these teams put up. If you were to tell me the first 6 minutes was going to be this defensive battle, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I'm very interested to see how the lawn snapper does on this play against Mountain View. They did snap it over their head, and you're going to see Orem bring a lot of pressure on this punt, I believe.
Zach Lamoureux, the senior corner, a guy to keep an eye on if you're Orem, back deep along with Kyler Anderson. Lamoureux calls fair catch for it at about the 36-yard line. So Orem's had this great field position all night long, but they haven't been able to capitalize. Chris, keys for the Tigers here to try to see if they can't punch it in.
Well, I think that first possession, they came out with their hair on fire. They moved quick. I think they need to maybe open up here with a pass, get some momentum, and then counter with the run, because Spanish Fork was able to stop the run on first and second, and that put them in 3rd and long.
Devin Argyle, the senior safety, very easily could have a busy night. Here's Natoa again with the carry. He gets into the secondary, and he gets down to about the 25-yard line. He's going to pick up around, he's going to get close. In fact, he's going to have enough down to the 24 for another first down.
Yeah, great run by Natoa, and there was some huge holes that those Orem Tiger offensive linemen opened up on that play.
Orem in the all-white, Spanish Fork in the red tops, and the gray pants here. Another flag, and this looks like a procedure call coming against the Orem Tigers.
Yeah, number 78 that time, Dave Wood, was just a little too excited to, meet number 77, Trujillo for Spanish Fork, as I still am struggling with names, Ryan.
1st and 15, ball back on the 29-yard line. Van Buren once again from that pistol, which is going to allow them to do a lot of play action. Over the middle, in and out of the hands. Devin Argyle was in the vicinity, but just couldn't quite get there. And that's a ball there. If you're Van Buren and Orem, you're really fortunate, but Devin Argyle is probably sitting there thinking, just hold up a little bit higher there, and I have a pick.
Yeah, and that's a pass that maybe Chase Harriman should have caught. But it's hard when you throw it over the middle and you're running full speed when balls can get tipped, and usually that's to the advantage of the defense.
Fiso and Herman in motion across your screen. Now Van Buren ready to go. Rolls out, throws the quick screen out to Herman. Herman's going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage, but he's escorted hard out of bounds by a couple of Dons.
Yeah, Mace Funa was out there on the tackle. I didn't see the number for the other guy, but man, they brought the wood that time.
We'll see here on the Car Guys instant replay. A little bit different version of that slot screen to the short side of the field, but there's...
That was number 30, Jace Barclay, with the big hit that time. We got to give him some love for that hit.
3rd and 11. Van Buren back to throw, looking deep. He's got a guy down there one-on-one, pushed off, and here comes the flag. That was very evident there that Jake Herman kind of
I'm curious because they were fighting the whole way down. You had number 3 Herman down there, and
it's going to go against Spanish Fork.
Yeah, they're going to call it on number 6, Colt Condi. And Colt Condi pushed him first. Herman pushed second. So, yeah, that was one where they were both going at it. Sometimes I think the refs need to call that as offsetting if both guys are going at it like that.
And it's hard because, do you call the first guy or do you call because sometimes that first guy gets it initially, but it doesn't have any effect on the play.
And they had battled well before that ball was in the air, back and forth.
So 1st and 10 for Orem. Here's the give. Here's Natoa at the down to the 5, down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Not the 5, but the 10-yard line. He gets in there, and Orem once again threatening big time here in the first.
And I think the problem with Orem's offense is they're very heavy pass-oriented, and this is a spot where Spanish Fork can bunch up, and Orem can't spread the field, so they struggle to get the ball in the end zone. At least they did the first time they were down here.
Watch the slant routes here. They're going to throw it here. Here's Natoa, kind of on the screen pass, cuts back at 5, lowers his head. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Tigers. And Orem's on the board earlier as Natoa just lowers that head, uses that big body, and bulldozes his way in.
Yeah, great job by Natoa catching that ball and staying low. That might have been a run. That was a lateral that time. Nonetheless, it's worth 6 points, and Orem takes an early first quarter lead here.
That's one thing we talked about before coming on, as we see the run once again on the Car Guys instant replay. This was going to be a lot different game than we saw at Spanish Fork a week ago.
Yeah, Spanish Fork absolutely manhandled Mountain View. That score was no indication of how it should have been, and Orem's a tough team.
Ryan Gomer on, the kick is up, and it looks good, and it is good. And with 4:56 to go before the end of the first quarter, the Orem Tigers take a 7-0 lead here as you're watching Spanish Fork football here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah,
so we do want to take a moment here as it's great to be back with you the week 2 of the high school season, as we do want to take an opportunity to thank some of our sponsors, the Car Guys for sponsoring our Car Guys instant replay, MVP Sports, who will sponsor the MVP of the game. We do want to thank MVP Sports. They're located at 72 North Main Street in Spanish Fork. Visit them online at mvpsportsutah.com. The Car Guys, located at 872 North Main Street. You can visit them online at thecarguysut.net.
And Lance Wilson with our assist of the game, the State Farm Insurance at 220 North Main Street. Call them for their auto, home, life, health, banking products, and all your other insurance needs. And also 2 Jack's Pizza. They've got great pizza. You can give them a call and order a pizza right now as you're watching this game at 801-798-8601.
Ryan Gomer about to put a foot into it. A nice deep kick. It's going to go into the end zone. Bobbled on the 1, and Spanish Fork's going to bring it out across the 10. Saili on the return, out across the 15. He's still on his feet, and he's going to lose his helmet, and they should probably blow that one dead, and they will. That helmet comes off in high school football, and that immediately that whistle is going to be blown to both play dead, so that way he doesn't take any shots to the open head.
Yeah, and that he should have just let that one go in the end zone, which hindsight's always 20/20 as they get the ball at the 12. But man, what a hit by Hanina for Orem that time as he just lowers his head and knocks his helmet off.
So now this is an opportunity for a senior quarterback in Nate Kiesel, a guy who led his team to the state championship game in the state of California last year, comes back here for his senior year. Now has an opportunity here with his team down 7 to really take the reins as a leader and say, hey, guys, let's go. Let's get something started.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they bounce back on this possession.
Kiesel ready to go. He's going deep. He's got Pendleton down there. It's caught. The 51st down, shoved out of bounds immediately by Zach Lamoureux, and Isaac Pendleton going one-on-one with Zach Lamoureux. That's going to be an interesting matchup all night tonight.
Yeah, that was a great pass. Kiesel put it exactly where he needed to put it that time, as we can see on the Car Guys instant replay. And that timing is hard to develop, especially with a quarterback that's been out of state for the last few years. But great execution by the Dons that time as they get behind the Orem Tiger defense and go deep. And that could be open all night.
Ball on the 40-yard line. Kiesel ready to go from the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers on the play. Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. They give right up the middle here to Salofa Funa. And Funa is going to get about 4, maybe 5 yards. In fact, no, I'm sorry. He's going to be given 3 yards, about 37.
All I know is there's one thing. I would not want to have to tackle Lofa Funa. He is a load to bring down. That was a run that should have been stopped for maybe a gain of 1 or 2, and he's able to pick up a couple extra yards, and that's great to have a back like that in your backfield.
Kiesel ready to go again. Quick slant. That's a nice kind of diving catch by Isaac Pendleton. Pendleton able to get close to the marker. He's going to be about a yard shy, and now it sets up a 3rd down. And this would be the perfect time. We saw it a little bit last week, maybe for like a trap option on that with him and Funa there, with Kiesel and Funa, I should say.
Yeah, that could be open, a little trap option play. Also maybe head to the outside with an option. Kiesel's a very athletic kid, and the playbook is wide open with him at quarterback.
Orem's going to load the box. It looks like the Tigers are coming. 3 receivers. Kiesel going to keep it right up the middle on the quarterback draw. Breaks a couple tackles, gets inside the 25. He's down to the 21, and that's another Spanish Fork first down.
Yeah, and Kiesel was able to be slippery enough to get that first down. I didn't think he was going to get it, but man, that second effort, he was able to pull through and get that first down. Great job by the Spanish Fork Dons, line 2, for opening up just enough of a hole for Kiesel to take advantage of, because everybody came from Orem that time. I think they were blitzing guys out of the second row.
You know, now that I see it, I see a bunch of students heading back to the student section there. So first down and 10, ball at the 21-yard line. Kiesel ready to go. Got some time in the pocket, steps up. He's going to lower the head at the 20, out across the 15 to the 10. Still on his feet, lowers his head, and he's going to be out of bounds, it looks like, and around the 5-yard line. Some flags come in, and we'll just see who this is going against here.
It was great block by Riener as he lost his helmet, but there is a flag there. I don't know if it was a block in the back or what happened, but this one might be coming back.
So we'll see here for the official call. And this is the sort of drive you have going if you're Spanish Fork. You don't want penalties and things like that to push it back.
Yeah, you don't. And that's what happened against Mountain View. They'd get moving the ball, and then they'd have a huge penalty and have to bring it back. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Oh, actually, maybe it's against Orem. Well, no, they're all walking back.
Moving back, so
I didn't see what happened, but Riener came in, and
I think it might be
helmet to helmet
for coming in, but they're going to walk this off against Spanish Fork. So I'm not sure necessarily what the call is going to be, whether it's a block in the back here, personal foul, targeting, helmet to helmet, I guess, coming against Spanish Fork. Now, in the college game, that helmet to helmet hit would have been reviewed, and they would have decided whether or not that was intentional and to eject him or not. Doesn't look like that's going on here.
Well, I think Reiner was just trying to make a play for his quarterback. Great hustle, hit helmet to helmet, probably the right call for the officials as well.
Kiesel takes the draw again to the 25, gets to the 20, kind of lowers his head at that 20, and a flag comes in again. And if you're Orem, if you're Spanish Fork, I should say, if this is against the Dons, you're going to have to clean this up.
Yeah, this would be the second critical mistake on this drive, and that's what cost you ball games.
Block
is we have a block in the
against
back.
Spanish Fork.
These are absolute drive killers, and you cannot do this against teams as talented as Orem. You can maybe overcome one penalty, but back-to-back, you're really putting the cards against you.
So to kind of put some perspective if you're just joining us, Spanish Fork had the ball at the 5-yard line. Now they're moving back to, it looks like, the 32-yard line, so they have just lost 27 yards with 2 penalties.
And they've both been the big variety, 10, 15-yarders.
3 receivers on the play coming up. Jackson Higginson to the top of your screen. He had a touchdown last week. And Kiesel back to pass. Pressure comes. He's going to throw it downfield. Higginson goes down, and that's incomplete. Sorry, that wasn't Higginson. That was Tuita out there.
Tuita got knocked in. Also, and not a good sign if you're Kiesel. He got drilled again at the end of that play.
And Tuita kind of looking at the officials saying, hey, where's the penalty? But it looks like the legs just kind of got caught up, as it was Blazin McPherson running step for step with him in coverage. And that's going to happen sometimes. You're going to get your feet kind of caught up a little bit, and that doesn't necessarily spark pass interference.
Yeah. That was a great pressure that time by Orem as they blitzed a lot, and they made Kiesel get rid of the ball faster than he wanted to. He didn't have much choice but to throw that pass.
Second down to 21, and Kiesel chased once again, and he's brought down the backfield back at the 32, maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But now you're in this 3rd and 21, and that's not something you want to do.
Yeah, you don't have a play call for that, but, man, that was great hustle by Altaina to come back from the backside and catch up to Kiesel. But, I don't know what you want to do here for strategy, but they're not in field goal range, so you do have 2 plays. So you might want to try and get a chunk of this on 3rd down and live to either get in field goal position or try and convert on 4th.
Maybe some crossing routes over the middle or something, maybe confuse that secondary. We'll see what they draw up. Kiesel looking. He's got some time now. He's going to look deep. He's got a man down there, one-on-one coverage. It's caught. Touchdown, Spanish Fork.
Jackson
Higginson on the reception.
Yeah, great catch by Jackson Higginson. I don't know how he caught that ball. He was right behind the cornerback that time, and I don't know how that ball wasn't picked. It hung up in the air forever, but great job by Jackson Higginson for wanting it more than Harriman.
It looked like it was Chase Herman was in the coverage, and he just leaped up in the air, and that's really what Kiesel did there. He just threw that one up one-on-one.
Wow.
That's a great ball thrown by Kiesel, but a great catch as Ride Casper was in the coverage. Devin Argyle late to get on the field here for Spanish Fork, as James Daw comes on for the extra point. And that's a bad snap. Argyle's going to fall, kind of trying to flip it out to Daw, but it's going to go incomplete. In fact, I think they said Argyle was down when he threw it, but that's going to end that play. So once again, we see the snapping, the special teams, a struggle so far for Spanish Fork, and right now it's a 1-point lead for the Orem Tigers, as Orem leads this one 7-6. About 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. So we've seen 2 teams have touchdown drives now, Chris, but there's been a complete kind of difference in those 2 touchdown drives.
Yeah, Orem has controlled this ball game from the onset. They've controlled field position, but you got to remember, the Dons started that drive on their 1-yard line. They went down 99 yards, picked up a couple of big penalties. I'm guessing net on their offensive stats, they're probably going to get 130 yards on that drive. So great job by Spanish Fork that time to overcome those penalties to get that touchdown, and great execution by Kiesel and Jackson on that pass.
Jackson Higginson, the 5'10 wide receiver, going up there against the 5'10 corner. It was literally just a jump ball, as it's going to be Natoa and number 25, Mickey Jarvis, back deep. James Daw has the ball teed up on the 40-yard line, and we're just about set ready to go. Here's the kick from the 40-yard line. It's going to be a pretty good kick. Line drive kick. Jarvis has it from the 8. Out across the 15. And now he's going to be tripped up here as he's going to get out to about the 20-yard line. And about 5 or 6 red jerseys getting around there to make the stop.
Yeah, Braden Hearn runs right down the field and makes a big tackle to slow it down there. But, man, Spanish Forks special teams that time, they were running down the field looking to kill somebody that time, Ryan. Wow.
2:03 to go here in the first quarter, and Hunter Van Buren and the Tigers look to go right back to work. Natoa goes up the middle, and he's going to get a couple here, but it looked like getting there was, I think that might have been Trujillo getting there from his tackle spot.
Yeah, I've been very impressed this season with the defensive line, but they're going to be awfully tired by the end of this game. Orem is going as fast as they possibly can. They're going fast, they're going hard.
Van Buren drops back to throw with some time. He's going to look over the middle, in and out of the hands there. Codner once again, the intended receiver. Spanish Fork had 3 or 4 red jerseys, though, around that ball.
Yeah, and if they can get that much pressure by blitzing 4 guys and dropping 7 back, they're going to get some picks tonight because Orem will not have time to execute their passing game like they need to.
Tigers going to go 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. They like getting 1 guy off the field. Solo receiver to the top of your screen. Going to throw the screen pass. Here's Natoa. Natoa across the 25. He's going to get still on his feet as he gets close to 30, but I think he's going to be a half yard short.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit short there, and that's the similar play that they scored a touchdown on. They like running that screen pass, and they've been very successful, and that's, because Spanish Fork's line's being very aggressive trying to get to the quarterback.
And they're a full yard short, so they're going to send on Ryan Gomer, number 16, will be back to punt. Gomer will stand back at his own 15-yard line. Back deep to receive is Way Stanton, and looks like number 3, Tanner Argyle, the junior, back deep to receive.
The one thing I've noticed is we've had a lot of possessions in this first quarter. Both teams are playing awfully fast.
Gomer gets a really nice punt off, Way going back, and he's going to let it bounce, and now probably should just get away from it. It takes a nice Spanish Fork bounce before being downed there by Jarvis at the 25-yard line. So now Spanish Fork kind of has the momentum now, and this is an opportunity for the Dons. They got 54 seconds to go in the quarter, but they have an opportunity here to try to see if they can't add to that lead.
Yeah, and on that last drive, it was 2 deep passes. One to Jackson for the touchdown, and also to, I believe, Isaac Pendleton had a big 40-yard catch as well. So if I'm Spanish Fork, I might just go deep here on first down, see if I can continue to beat this defense deep as the corners are playing up close.
Orem's loading that box pretty well. And back to throw here. Quick 3-step drop out to Pendleton. Pendleton gets right past the first guy, gets down the sidelines, and he's going to be called out of bounds back at the 45-yard line. It was one-on-one down the sidelines. He had some help. Braden Christensen running step for step, but he steps out back to the Spanish Fork 45.
Yeah, but great job by Pendleton. He's definitely making a push for our MVP Sports MVP player of the game. I've been very impressed early with his ability to catch the ball and then run after he catches it. And that's open. Orem's playing up top, but that corner's retreating very quick on that side. That's number 13, just a sophomore, Kenzie, playing corner. He comes up this time.
3 guys, high snap. They get it down. Kiesel's just going to have to keep it. Makes a couple of moves there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but a flag comes in, and that's kind of in the area of a hold.
It's probably a hold. High snap, then let's go ahead and hold. So that was that play was doomed from the start.
I believe if this is against Spanish Fork, that's got to be the 4th penalty against the offense here in the quarter.
Yeah, they're definitely taking their turns of everybody getting penalized this season, as they had a ton of penalties against Mountain View. Actually, it must have been a face mask. Defensive hold.
Which is a penalty you don't see very much coming in from the line. You see it more in the secondary.
Yeah, you about have to kill somebody to get a defensive hold.
So first down and 5, 34 seconds to go. Clock running. That ball's thrown early as Saili tried to go down and get it, but it was thrown behind him.
Yeah, Saili was running a little out route that time, and he was stumbling and bumbling, but Kiesel had to get rid of it, and that Orem pressure is really causing Spanish Fork's passing game to be disrupted.
Kiesel's had a lot of 3-step. I'm going to have to just throw quick out routes tonight, and it's worked pretty well. Pendleton has a couple for the Dons. We'll see what they come up with here, 2nd and 5. Ready to go. Kiesel back to throw. 3-step drop. Saili's got it this time. It's going to be a first down. It should be. They They will give him forward progress to about the 42-yard line. That's first down Spanish Fork with 27 left in the quarter.
And the one thing I'm noticing about Kiesel is he can throw the ball quick with that quick release, which makes this hitch pattern work very well for the Dons. They utilized it a lot against Mountain View, and it's a good way to pick up 6, 7, 8-yard chunks.
And you think of it, if you can get that 7, 8-yard chunks, you're going to move the ball right down the field.
Plus, if you break a tackle, you can get a touchdown.
Back to pass. Kiesel's going to take a shot deep. He's got Pendleton one-on-one coverage in the end zone.
Oh.
In and out of the hands of Isaac Pendleton. Again, another kind of battle going on between Pendleton and Zach Lamoureux. Some little kind of contact going on there. That one hits Pendleton right in the hands.
And Kiesel was hit again, slow to get up. He's getting beat up tonight, but yeah, that's probably one Pendleton should have came up with that time. He's made some big catches early.
That was a good ball thrown by Kiesel. Again, I think the thing that's impressed me so much with Nate Kiesel is not just does he have this great arm, Chris, he puts that ball right where his guy is going to be the one that's going to have to come up with it.
Yeah, and the corner there for Orem, they beat him deep, they beat him short. He's definitely confused on this near side of the field.
Kiesel drops back to throw, throws the screen pass to Funa, and that one dropped out of the hands of Funa, and that's going to bring up second down. And that's been the big thing last week that really kind of affected Nate Kiesel's line score, really, when you take a look at it, was all these drop passes.
Yeah, he had a lot of drop passes, and that's something that they can work on in practice. And I believe as the season goes on, they're going to clean some of that up and, you know, make a push in region to see if they can't win this thing this year. I think they have plenty of talent to do so.
3.6 seconds on the clock, first quarter. This should be the final play of the quarter. 3 receivers, 2 to the top of your screen. Kiesel steps back to throw. He's got, that's I believe Higginson, and it is pretty close to the marker. He's going to maybe be a half a yard short, but that's going to end the first quarter here at Spanish Fork High School. So a back and forth quarter. The Orem Tigers, though, at the end of the first have the lead. The difference, an extra point. And at the end of one quarter, it's Orem 7, Spanish Fork 6. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork. MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Start of the second quarter here at Spanish Fork High School. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network. We'd like to thank our sponsors for helping make this broadcast possible here.
That's my fault.
To Jack's Pizza. We want to thank Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, and the Car Guys, and of course Spanish Fork 17 for this broadcast as they go very quickly here on 4th and 1. Funa trying to get it. It's going to be close, and it's going to be a Spanish Fork first down.
That's a huge pickup for Spanish Fork on 4th down. That'll keep this drive alive and possibly lead to some points. And we know why we play the game, to score points.
You know, Chris, it's that old adage, the team with the most points at the end of the game is probably going to come out on top.
Unless you're playing golf.
So first down at 10, Spanish Fork, 4 wide receivers. Kiesel's going to throw it out to Pendleton, and that one put behind him as Isaac Pendleton went to kind of run it looks like a kind of a slant route, and the ball came right behind him.
Yeah.
We have 2nd and 10.
Well, I've been very impressed with Kiesel, though. He's put the ball where he needs to, or he's putting it where only his receiver can get to it tonight. But he's been pressured a lot, and he's getting up slow. He's going to fill this game tomorrow morning, that's for sure.
3 wide receivers here. Higginson to the top, Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. Kiesel drops back to pass, has some time pressured. He's going to be chased. Still on his feet. He's going to throw it at the last second and threw it away. And here comes the flag. And he had Isaac Pendleton down the field, but nobody was really in the vicinity.
He was close. You could tell kind of where he was going, but I agree with the ref on this call. Unless, I don't know what the tackle box rule is at the high school level, but he appeared to be out of the tackle box, and we do unfortunately have an Orem Tiger down. I believe that's number 14 that's down there on the field for Orem, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the case, it's McPherson.
And the interesting thing about that call is now, because he's got to be outside the tackle, Chris, then he has to get the ball past the line of scrimmage. To me, he was out both. He definitely got the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Well, apparently they're going to call it dead there. But it looks like on that play, I think that's McPherson's that's down that hurt his shoulder. And it happened in the middle of that play because he was struggling to get back on his feet. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but if you're Spanish Fork, though, you can, 3rd and 20 is not too long for this team, as they've been able to convert on 3rd and long earlier on the last drive and on 4th and 1. So I think if you're the Dons here, you still, even though this penalty's cost them big time.
The ball definitely gets past the line of scrimmage. He was outside. To me, it was outside the tackle, but right now, as everybody tends to the injured Tiger down the field.
We're going to have to do our research and see what the exact rule is on that, so when we run into this situation again, we can sound like experts, Ryan.
Score from Maple Mountain, the Golden Eagles leading Corner Canyon 7-3.
Wow, and Corner Canyon is probably the favorite in that game. At least I checked on Deseret News on the Perry Guide. They had them favored. They also had Orem favored tonight, so possibly a couple of upsets in the making. And well, the Dons trail by 1, but Corner Canyon was a power last year, and I believe they made it to the 2nd or 3rd round of the playoffs.
One of the big games tonight, of course, throughout the state. Lone Peak, a 5A team, is supposed to compete for their region title. They're taking on a 4A power. Maybe you've heard of Timpview, Chris. That's going to be an interesting one. They're locked at 7 right now in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. A lot of interest in that Utah County battle. And it's good to see McPherson get off the field here, as hopefully he's not seriously hurt.
Good sportsmanship coming from Spanish Fork to stand and clap. What score to kind of keep an interest on? Spanish Fork next week heads to Timpanogos to play them up in Orem. That game will not be here on Spanish Fork 17. But North St. Pete, a team Maple Mountain's going to get. North St. Pete's leading Timpanogos 14-0.
And Timpanogos has struggled. Them, Mountain View, and Provo are going to be battling for last place in Region 7 this year, if you believe all the pundits.
Provo's up on Payson 21-0 in the first. That one up in Provo. We'll keep you updated throughout the night on scores here, especially that Maple Mountain Corner Canyon game that you can see over on Channel 16. Kiesel steps up in the pocket. He's going to just keep it, and he's going to go down to the 50, so he loses 4 more. And that pressure that the Orem Tiger defense is bringing is chasing Nate Kiesel around all night.
Yeah, and they've found a great combination of good coverage and getting pressure on Kiesel. And Kiesel's starting to get a little gun shy, as he's definitely hurting as he comes off the field. But credit the Orem defense that time for disrupting that play and getting a sack. And this is 4th and approximately 29, 30.
Way Stanton back to punt. He's standing back to his own 35-yard line. It's going to be Jarvis and Lamoureux back deep for Orem. A kind of low line drive punt goes to Lamoureux. He'll take it at the 15-yard line, and he's met immediately. I believe it was Mace Buna. Number 14.
That's Saleda.
Right there. Saili getting there and bringing him down immediately. Great special teams coverage. Now Orem, probably for the first time tonight, starting as deep as they've had in their own territory.
Yeah, they've had great field position. They've started inside the Dons' territory multiple times tonight, and that's a credit to the Dons' defense for only giving up 1 touchdown so far. So we'll see if they can possibly get the Dons the ball back with great field position.
Hunter Van Buren from shotgun. He's going to take a snap. He's going to take a shot deep, one-on-one coverage. That was in and kind of out of the hands, bobbled out there, intended for number 10. I don't have a number 10.
I don't have a number 10, but I do have a number 6, Colt Condi, with good coverage that time.
Orem does have the names on the back of their jerseys.
It says Tigers. It says Tigers on the back of their jerseys.
Well, they have their team name on the back.
He's a Tiger. And he catches the ball this time.
Number 10 there out to about the 28-yard line.
Picks up a first down.
Sorry, that's
Oh,
number
it's 18.
That is Cody Codner. So Codner able to get
His
first down there out to the 29.
His number looks like a 10. Thank goodness we can switch to the television and see it's 18.
Van Buren back to throw, throws the screen pass out. Here's Natoa at the 30. He's going to lower his head to the 35-yard line, out to maybe even the 36 it looks like officially. So a nice pickup of 7, makes it about a 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and that type of pass spreads the Spanish Fork defense out and allows for plays up the middle. So I think Orem might be setting up some big runs, and they had a huge run in the first quarter that set up their touchdown.
3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. They're going to give it right up the middle. Here's Natoa. He's going to have the first down out across the 40. And, Chris, if you could pick up that 5-6 yards on first down and you put yourself in these 2nd and 4s, 3rd and 2s, you have a great opportunity to convert these first downs.
I guarantee if you gave any coach a truth serum, they'd take 6 yards average on first down every day, 7 days a week.
That ball is complete out to Codner once again to about the – and that's not Codner because Codner's right there in front of us.
That is number 10.
That is number 10. And
Tigers.
So we're not going nuts if there's a 10 and an 18.
That's good. That's a good sign.
2nd and 2 coming up. Van Buren's going to keep it on the kind of the option play, and that's going to be another first down for Orem as they get to the 43-yard line. So something we haven't seen from the Tigers tonight. They've done a lot of play-action pass, and there's a kind of a play-action look for the quarterback on the keeper.
And great job by the Orem coaching staff that time. Yeah, you're right. We hadn't seen a play like that, and everybody thought the running back got the ball. And there goes Van Buren around the corner, pick up the first down.
Coming up at halftime, we'll honor the state championship baseball and softball teams here from Spanish Fork High School. Taking a shot down the field. He's got Codner in and out of the hands. Right there was Colt Condi running step for step, and that ball just kind of goes in and out of his hands.
Great job by Condi as we've got a hold, I believe, on Orem there that'll move the ball back on first down if Spanish Fork accepts the penalty. Condi was kind of out of position there, but he got back in a hurry, was able to just put enough heat that time on number 18 Codner, make sure he wouldn't catch the ball. Great coverage by Colt Condi. I thought they were going to throw a flag on him, though.
And so definitely something to watch for now, as Orem's now going to be in this 2nd down and about.
That was a personal foul.
That was going to be about 26 coming up here for.
They've got to get down to the 34, and they're clear on their own 37. Wow, they've got a long ways to go.
3 receivers down to the bottom of your screen here for Van Buren. He's going to roll out now, try to look back to the other side. Goes down the field. Colt Condi's there for the interception. Condi comes up with it, finds his way out of bounds. That's a first down for Spanish Fork as the first defensive play. Christian said it earlier. We'll open up some interceptions with how much passing Orem does. And right there, Colt Condi.
Yeah, and Colt Condi might have turned the wrong way after he caught the ball, but great job on that pick. And Spanish Fork will start with the ball in great field position. As Condi, I don't know why he turned around. He should have kept going that way. But nonetheless, he gets the ball, and that's why he plays defense maybe.
We got an update over from Maple Mountain. Of course, that game on Spanish Fork 16. The Golden Eagles leading 13-10 over Corner Canyon. Kiesel pressured again. He's going to go down, and this time he's back his own 31-yard line, and he's slow to get up once again, but that's about a 14-yard loss or 13-yard loss, and that's not what you want, is to inflict on yourself these 2nd and 23s that Spanish Fork's been in.
And he got sandwiched between Otawaya and Altaina that time, and that can't feel good, but this is both Orem and Spanish Fork are taking turns getting themselves in huge 2nd and 3rd down situations, which isn't good to convert first downs.
Kiesel takes the high snap. He's going to look to throw. Got a man down the middle. That's Braden Christensen out across the 50. So that's a great way to get a lot of these yards back. Now you're in a 3rd and about 6.
And that's hard to catch that ball in the middle because you know you're going to get hit. But great job by Braden Christensen to have the concentration to hold onto that ball and then make a play upfield to get a couple extra yards.
Ball right at midfield. Spanish Fork needing the 44-yard line of Orem to move the sticks with 8:08 to go before halftime. Kiesel from shotgun, 3 receivers dropping back. He's going to throw. There's Isaac Pendleton. He's got a first down, and they're going to say that his knee went down at the 41-yard line.
I don't think it was down, but great catch by Pendleton that time, and he's becoming the go-to guy here for Kiesel tonight, and I've been very impressed with him running a variety of routes, short, mid, and long tonight.
Pendleton will take a quick breather here after that first down play. Saili to the bottom of your screen. Brooks Ringer in the slot to the top. Higginson to the very top of your screen. Ball in the 40, drops back to throw. Kiesel pressured, steps away. Now he's going to look down the sideline. Got Saili down there, and it's in and out of the hands of Saili. That one hit him right in the breadbasket. It just goes right out of his hands.
I guess he just needed to hand him the ball that time because you can't get any better than that. And like I said, but these Spanish Fork receivers are young, and they will get better. But great pass by Kiesel that time. Very impressive to get away. I don't know how you get away from that kind of pressure and put a ball in that spot like that. Very impressed with Kiesel.
Ride Casper was the man in coverage there, and it just looked like he got caught looking at where the ball was coming, and then once he got kind of turned up, Saili went right past him.
I don't think they thought Kiesel could throw it because he was under such duress.
Funa, that one looks like is a lateral loose ball, and then quickly the ref going, no, that was incomplete.
Yeah, I think that did barely go forward. We got the perfect angle, but those scares, there's no instant replay in high school, so those plays can be very scary.
The linebacker, Roman Winters for Orem there.
Oh, no, it went backwards.
It went backwards, and that's a very heads-up play by both sides to quickly realize and fall on it. I think both sides thought it was a backwards pass.
And it was a backwards pass, as we could see on the car guy's instant replay.
3rd down and 10. Orem very late getting the final man on the field. Kiesel looked down the middle high and overthrows Tobiasen. And that was one there. If you're Kiesel, you have to hit that. That's a first down. Yeah,
Tobiasen's only 6'8", so got a long reach. It looks like they'll have to punt here, but I think that was a great drive for Spanish Fork just to flip the field position again.
Kiesel, you could tell as he came off the field there frustrated. You could tell he knew that he missed it. Stanton to put a foot into it. Now he's going to keep it. He's at the 40, 35, first down, Dons. And we saw it last week that he's going to have that opportunity to fake it at some point. And here, Chris, just like you called it, he gets the first down on the
Yeah,
play.
And like we talked about last week, you have that option in that rugby-style kick where if it's wide open, hey, go ahead and take it. And it was that time, and he outruns number 13 for Orem, picks up the first down, and keeps the drive alive. Huge 4th down pickup for the Dons as they are looking to take their first lead of the ball game.
Nate Kiesel here will go back to work with 3 receivers. Isaac Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. You can't see, there he is. He pops into the picture. And they're going to give up the middle. Here's Funa at the 20. Lowers his head at the 15. He's down to about the 12, maybe the 13-yard line. And again, that's a guy with Solofa Funa. If I see him coming at me and lowers his head, I'm probably getting out of the way.
And Funa, I don't know if he has a cramp, but he hasn't gotten up yet.
And he's down. Yeah, he is down on the field.
I believe that's Funa that stayed down. But, man, he met number 20, Kyler Anderson. And it's a little humid tonight, so we might have some cramping issues with some of the Dons. I think hopefully that's all it is. And we saw that last week in Mountain View. But, unfortunately, football can be dangerous.
It was 93 degrees here when I got here to Spanish Fork High School about an hour and a half before kickoff as we see Funa there. He takes a hit and then kind of gets twisted around there at the end. And he immediately just kind of grabs that leg where it would look like a cramp.
Hopefully it's a cramp, and they're stretching him out like it might be, but they're also touching that knee, so I don't know. That's scary with those knees.
His brother Mace Funa right there as well, making sure he's okay, along with the training staff here for Spanish Fork. And you talk about that play with the fake punt, Chris. Those sort of plays could have an opportunity to change the whole momentum. Or I'm thinking, hey, great, we just got a huge stop. And now all of a sudden you transition to, oh, no, now we got to go back to work on defense.
Yeah, that defeats your ego there and changes the momentum big time. And looks like the Dons might capitalize here and take the lead. But that rugby-style punt, not only does it give your punter, get him close, gives them the opportunity to go for it like they did that time. And I think Funa's going to be all right, but it is hot, it is humid. Everybody needs to drink a lot of water down there.
That's the thing is, especially on these humid nights here in August, we talk about, being from Oregon and that it's not quite as hot. The other thing is the games don't really start till early September, so sometimes it's not this hot. But here, I think if people forget, it's 93. You're wearing pads. Chris, you played high school football. Those pads add a little bit of heat, and the helmets and everything like that.
Yeah, especially in August, it just sucks all the bodily fluid out of you. You sweat a lot, I guess is what I should say.
Clock will run here, under 7 minutes to go before halftime. Spanish Fork threatening, trying to take the lead here, trailing by 1 as Kiesel takes the direct snap. He's going to keep it at the 10 to the 5. Is he in? Touchdown, Spanish Fork. Nate Kiesel from 12 yards out.
Yeah, great job by Kiesel picking up those tough 12 yards and being the shifty runner that he is. Gets him the 6 points, and we'll see if they go for 2 here. They're going to kick the extra point, it looks like.
And that's definitely got to feel good after Kiesel missed a couple of throws earlier in the drive, the fake punt, and then he finishes off with a touchdown.
They had a drop in the end zone on a long pass as well, but great job by the Dons battling back and taking the lead here.
James Daw on for the extra point. The last time Spanish Fork went for the extra point, it was a bad snap, and Devin Argyle had to try to quickly do something with it.
I told Daw this week he needs to put it over the center.
And Daw there puts it right over the middle. So Chris Hurst, color guy / coach, doing a great job here, and that's a great touchdown drive for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, and that changes all the momentum here. We'll see if Orem can counter. It's going to be quite a battle, but this is about what I expected. Both teams pretty good defense, but they also have the offense to counter and score some points. So we'll see if the Dons can keep up the intensity. Orem came out on that first couple drives and moved it well, but Spanish Fork, credit their coaching staff, has made some big adjustments.
So 6:45 to go before halftime, Chris. How do you play this right now if you're the Orem Tigers? A couple of different ways. Some coaches would say, hey, we got to try to get the lead back. I think if you're Orem, you got to go back to what you're doing in the first quarter when you were just going quick, moving the ball right up and down the field.
Yeah, and sometimes when you go fast like that, you don't think, and you're not overthinking what's my assignment. You just go, but the other side of that is fatigue. Do they have the depth to keep that up?
James Daw has the ball teed up on the 40-yard line. Once again, it's going to be Natoa back deep with Zach Lamoureux. Or sorry, that's not Lamoureux, that's 25, Mickey Jarvis. Daw ready to go here, puts a foot into it, and this one's going to go over towards Jarvis, who backpedals to the 10. He gets it out across the 20 to the 25-yard line, brought down around the 27-yard line. So not bad field position if you're Orem, but compared to what you've had throughout the night, this is probably one of the more deeper, probably the second deepest you've started a drive tonight.
Yeah, and they can move the ball here on the Dons, but you're right, field position statistics show that the closer you start to the end zone, the higher the probability, obviously, of you getting points. So great job by special teams this time for the Dons.
Right up the middle on the carry, getting about 4 yards there.
And that's Harmon with the tackle. We didn't have a number for him last week, but he's playing that defensive tackle position and doing a great job for the Dons as they like to rotate. They move their guys all over the place on that line.
Trips to the top of your screen. Van Buren back to pass. Looks over the middle. That's a good completion. Kind of sliding and making the catch there is Chase Herman, and that's a first down for Orem.
Yeah, Herman with the slide into second base and catches the ball at the same time. Great execution by the Tigers. There was tight coverage there, and the Dons were bringing some serious pressure.
First down and 10, ball on the 45. Screen pass outside. Here's Herman again. He's going to get tripped up at around the 48-yard line. Woo. And here comes a flag coming in late. And now the question's going to be, Spanish Fork immediately started clapping. This could be coming against the Tigers.
Well, great job by Colt Condi. He comes out 10 yards off, runs up the field, gets off a block, makes the tackle, and then frustrates the Orem Tiger receiver into making a personal foul. I've been very impressed with that corner, Colt Condi, tonight.
And those are the discipline penalties here. Great job by Spanish Fork. It's pretty easy to go like this when somebody gets a little physical and frustrated with you. Pretty easy just to retaliate, but then you have a tendency to get that penalty there. Spanish Fork just backs off, and now Orem's moving back 15.
Yeah, and once again, Orem has put themselves in a horrible down and distance situation as it's second and more than I can count.
Second and about 23, it looks like. Van Buren back to throw, screen pass. Natoa makes the play, but he's going to be brought down, and it looks like, again, it kind of looks like some frustration coming from Orem, as Herman and Saili looks like they were kind of getting into it a little bit there.
No flag this time, but yeah, plays a little chippy. It's high school football. Everybody's excited to get out there and hit each other.
So 3rd and about 20. Orem needing the 45-yard line of Spanish Fork for a first down. Have to go down the field here. Van Buren rolls out, pressure going down the field, and overthrows Herman, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Orem's going to have to punt, and right now with the momentum switch, not exactly a time you want to punt and move the ball back into the hands of Nate Kiesel in this offense.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and the Dons, if they can capitalize on this drive, they can really start to have Orem press a little more than they want to. We got Wee Stanton back there along with, is that number 3? Tanner Argyle.
Stanton and Argyle back deep. High snap, gets it down. Good kick, line, end over end kick. Stanton comes up, calls for the fair catch, and makes it complete at the 32-yard line. So good field position, a relatively good field position for Spanish Fork. And coming off of that last drive that Nate Kiesel had, finished it off with a touchdown. This is an opportunity here to kind of build some momentum, maybe get up a couple scores before halftime.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And the playbook's open here for Coach Smith. They've been able to throw the ball deep. They've been able to get some dunk plays short. And then also you got some great running backs that might be open. Orem might be expecting the pass. You could get a few yards up the middle.
Ball on the 31-yard line. Kiesel back to throw. 3-step drop in and out of the hands of Tuita. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Smith, Orem's bringing a lot of pressure. At some point, you might want to just run a nice little screen pass like Orem's done that well tonight to see if you can't relieve some of that pressure.
Once again, kind of one of those plays we see Tuita open, but it looks like the ball just goes right through his hands. And Chris, you talk about as a receiver, when you're anticipating getting hit, trying to make that quick move, it can be easy to run without the ball.
It is. Too easy.
2nd and 10, back to drop. Kiesel throws that one complete. There's Pendleton, makes a couple of men miss. Gets close, gets about 8 yards, out to about the 38, maybe the 39-yard line to bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, it's a short and manageable, and they're bringing out Lofafuna, which is great to see him coming onto the field. He must have just had a cramp. And I'm not a gambling man, but if I were, I think it's Funa time.
Funa is in the backfield here on this 3rd down at about 2. Spanish Fork looking for the 41-yard line. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. High snap. Kiesel gets it down. Here's Funa trying to fight. He will get the first down out to about the 43 and a half, maybe the 44, and that's a first down.
Yeah, great job by Kiesel to grab that. That could have ended disastrous as the snap was high, and it did disrupt the timing, and Funa did the rest from there to get that first down, but not how they drew it up probably on the board if you're Coach Smith, but does the job.
As we see on the car, guys, it's a replay. Spanish Fork moving the chains here with about 16 to go before halftime. Clock running, 5 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry to get this one off. Kiesel gets it on. Here's the option play. Pitch out goes to Salofa Funa. Funa lowers his head, gets maybe a half a yard, if a good spot, a full yard here, and that's going to bring up about a 2nd and 9.
And I would dare to bet that Spanish Fork has had a lot of time in possession, and that's really helped out their defense here, as Orem likes to go fast. So I think it's been a great couple of drives here by the Dons, not only getting points, but also taking a lot of time off the clock.
Both teams with all 3 of their timeouts here, so something to keep an eye on as we move here for the final 4:09 to go here before half. 3 receivers here.
And wow. Everybody in Orem jumped there.
And Orem immediately moving back here as it looks like offsides indicated against the Tigers. And that was pretty easy to see here as all 3 of them just kind of went like this and just jumped.
Yeah, I don't know if what they saw in film that made them think the Dons were going to go, but obviously 3 guys can't be wrong. They thought they were going to go on that play.
2nd down and 3. Kiesel down the middle. He's got Braden Christensen for a first down. Christensen down to the 34. That's a first down. And after Braden Christensen kind of had that last week where he struggled, had a couple of balls, hit him right in the hands that he dropped, that's got to feel good to get those first couple of catches in tonight.
Yeah, that'll build your confidence, and they can build upon it. But great job by Kiesel. Orem brought 6 guys that time. He had to get rid of the ball quickly and did so.
Ball on the 34-yard line, ready to go here. Moving the ball out. Jackson Higginson to the top of your screen. Isaac Pendleton to the bottom. Kiesel steps back to throw with some time, looking down the middle for Pendleton, in and out of his hands as he took a crushing hit over the middle.
Oh, and they're calling the flag.
Tyler Anderson coming in as the flag goes in.
Hopefully he's all right, but he got sandwiched that time between 2 guys, and he's been a huge asset for the offense tonight. It'd be a huge loss if Pendleton wasn't able to continue, but that did not feel good.
And now some discussion from the officials here. You have to wonder in a sense here now if they're discussing maybe an intentional hit to the helmet.
Well, I think it was a late hit. The ball had already hit the ground, and then both guys kind of sandwiched him where they didn't necessarily need to do that because the play was over. But we'll see what they call here.
The Spanish Fork students located right below us here, all of them sitting down here with 3:30 to go. Orem's going to head over to the sideline as Isaac Pendleton here. Personal foul against Orem, so that's going to now give about 15 yards or so here to Spanish Fork, and now the Dons threatening once again.
Let's see if we can see what happens here on the instant replay from Car Guys. Yeah, the play was clearly over when I saw it, and then they just decided, well, let's just go ahead and sandwich him anyways.
Yeah.
And that's hard when your body's getting hit in the middle of your body one way and your legs are getting crushed the other, but he gets up and walks off.
So that's a good sign for Spanish Fork as Isaac Pendleton will walk off, because you've talked about how big of a part of an offense he's been, not just tonight, but last week as well. This has been kind of a go-to target for Nate Kiesel.
Yeah, he's like his blanket out there. He's that safety blanket. You need 5-6 yards on that hitch pattern, and Pendleton's Mr. Reliable out there.
3:33 to go here before halftime. Spanish Fork trying to find their end zone. Stay tuned here to Spanish Fork 17 at the half. We'll honor the baseball team and the softball team, both those schools winning state championships this year, defeating crosstown rival Maple Mountain in some fun, exciting games. That one's going to go here. Here's Kiesel. He's going to have to keep it at the 20, still on his feet. He's going to fight down to about the 17-yard line. Gets about 2 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8, but the Dons have been driving well here on this possession, and they're nearing field goal position. But the one thing that worries me is we've seen errant snap after errant snap. I'm afraid one of those is eventually going to get away from Kiesel. But that's the risk of running this shotgun formation.
Mace Funa in alongside with Mateen Lomax has checked in the ball game here.
Oh,
and now timeout we're going to have here, it looks like, Spanish Fork. So with 2:54 to go, they're going to call a timeout here as the clock continues to run here. And now they'll stop it at 2:50. Let's take a chance, Chris, here to thank our sponsors to help making this game possible here on Spanish Fork 17. Our sponsors help make sure that this broadcast and many of our others here throughout our high school sports season. Coming up at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the MVP Sports MVP of the game. Visit MVP Sports at 72 North Main Street in Spanish Fork, your hometown sporting goods specialist since 1987.
We got the Car Guys at thecarguysut.net. Go check out their inventory. They're also located at 872 North Main Street in Spanish Fork, and they're your go-to dealer for pre-owned cars here in Spanish Fork.
Do want to thank Lance Wilson at State Farm Insurance, located at 220 North Main Street. Give him a call at 801-798-9288 or visit him at lancewilsoninsurance.com.
At Two Jacks Pizza, they're at 30 North Main Street. If you want some pizza right now, give them a call at 801-798-8601 or twojackpizza.com.
So we thank all of those sponsors here. And, of course, Spanish Fork Community Network. Visit us online to see the live feed at fscn.org. Kiesel's going to roll out. He's going to throw. That one's got him in and out of the hands there, as that was intended for Braden Christensen. Christensen having to kind of slide and dive, and that one just comes up end as a full moon comes up over the mountainside here.
Football in Utah in August and September, for that matter, is definitely beautiful. And if you ever get the chance, come and check out a game either here at Spanish Fork or also Maple Mountain. Come support your local high school superstars.
the Maple Mountain Corner Canyon game. That one airing over on Channel 16. So tune in there if you want to catch the Maple Mountain game. But if you want to stick here with us, your Spanish Fork Dons leading it. Looking here, Kiesel's got Salili, who lays out but couldn't come up with it.
Once again, Orem is putting a tremendous amount of pressure and really disrupting the pass here for Kiesel. But it looks like the Dons have decided they're going to go for it as they're keeping the offense on the field.
Salofa Funa back in the ball game. He'll check in. Isaac Pendleton also coming back in. So here's kind of that opportunity for that hitch route or that curl route that they've been running with Isaac Pendleton a lot this year.
Yeah, there's that, and also they can go, I think Higginson's out there. They can go deep to him. He's been their big guy downfield. Well, he's 5'10", but he's came up big.
Dons need the 10. Kiesel back to throw, looking for Higginson. He's got it, and it goes out of his hands. He was open.
Oh.
He kind of laid out for it. It just bobbled right off his hands.
In and out of his hands, but once again, very impressive job by Kiesel, putting the ball where he needs to. We got some great quarterbacks in this city of Spanish Fork. We got Kiesel here, who's been putting on a marvelous performance, and then also we got Hall up at Maple Mountain.
That is going to be a fun game this year over at Maple Mountain, the Spanish Fork Maple Mountain game. Always, it seems like, a great contest when those two schools get together. As Van Buren's going to give it on first down to Natoa. Natoa out across the 20-yard line. He's going to get maybe to the 21-yard line. Gain of about 4 before he's brought down. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up here for Orem. With 2:26 to go before half, you have all 3 of your timeouts. We're seeing the Tigers start to go quick again.
And when they went fast the first couple possessions, they were able to pick up a lot of yards. I just wonder if their coaching staff worries about that pace.
Van Buren looking down the field, in and out of the hands of Ted. Devin Argyle's got the interception. He's taking it back to the 20, still on his feet, down to about the 15-yard line, and there's that ball. It just gets tipped, Chris, that Devin Argyle almost had earlier. Now he has it this time.
Yeah, and we've talked about it with the pressure they're getting and how Orem's throwing the ball over the middle. Spanish Fork might get some tip balls, and that's the second one as our monitors going crazy here as the student section's jumping up and down. Great job by the Dons secondary, though.
It's shaking the whole stands here. Is now an opportunity with 2:05 to go to really swing momentum here as Spanish Fork inside the red zone again. Ball on the 17-yard line. Kiesel's going to keep it right up the middle. He's going to be pulled down from behind as he gets maybe the 16-yard line for a gain of 1. Maybe they're going to give him a favorable spot for 2 here with 1:50 to go. And it looks like
we lost half the lights.
Half the lights went out, so now we'll see here. I'm imagining they're going to probably stop the game here. Oh boy, Chris, this is going to be, I want to say the south end of the field. The lights are still on, but the north end
gone out.
Is,
half of it. I wonder if our side's still on because there's a lot of light coming this way. I wonder if somebody just turned one of the switches off. Now,
they're going to let him play here with 1:26 to go before halftime.
I did a Maple Mountain game where the power went off twice. I believe it was against Salem Hills in the first broadcast.
It looks like it's just one tower went out. Kiesel throws over the middle. He's got Pendleton for the touchdown. Isaac Pendleton goes in on that little flag route, gets open for the score.
Kiesel and Pendleton at the end of this game might want to get some BFF bracelets because those two are becoming best friends forever. Wow, great job by Pendleton running the little slap pattern that time and Kiesel finding him for 6.
A 15-yard strike, and that just swung a lot of momentum here before halftime. James Daw on for the extra point.
He just needs to get over the center and it'll be good.
Devin Argyle to hold. Snap down and another bobbled snap. Argyle trying to do something with it. Trips up, just kind of shovel passes it to somebody. And that's the second time tonight. The 2 points left on the field have been because of bad snaps. That's 4 bad snaps, Chris, in 2 weeks.
And that can come back to haunt you. Anytime you have bad snaps and you leave points on there, it can come back to bite you in close games. But so far, the Dons have done a great job of scoring 19 points unanswered here against the Orem Tigers. And I've been very impressed with Kiesel as he's been able to just outshine the Van Buren, his counterpart, who had 5 touchdowns and 266 yards in the first game. But it's been Kiesel that has been the one impressing tonight as he's had 1 touchdown run and 2 touchdown passes.
It's the little things, Chris, that you really, when the game's going on, you definitely kind of maybe look at and go, well, maybe not that important. But at the end of the game, depending on the result, you're definitely going to look at. The Woods Cross Wildcats didn't convert on 3 extra points last week, and that ended up being the difference of the ball game.
Yeah,
And
that extra points can be tricky, but it's very critical to winning ball games.
Jarvis, the lone deep back. Very nice kickoff. Going to go down to about the 8-yard line. That's Natoa, I'm sorry. Across the 30-yard line. He's got a hole out across the 40. Cuts back, and he's tripped up at about the 46-yard line, and a flag comes in.
Looks like Argyle makes the touchdown-saving tackle, but this ball is going to be coming back as Orem is now starting to make some huge penalties. At the first of the game, it was Spanish Fork that had a hard time executing, but now they've flip-flopped.
And the hard part is, Chris, I believe that it's Spanish Fork that gets the ball to open the third quarter as well. So this could very quickly turn south here, as this is going to move the Tigers back here with a minute 8. Do you play for points here if you're Orem? Do you feel maybe a sense of urgency to get something on that scoreboard?
Well, I tried maybe a couple of simple plays. You do not want to go over the middle and get another turnover and get this thing out of reach in the first half. But at the same time, you got to stay aggressive. So maybe try some things to the outside. They've had some success outside as well.
Van Buren here will be from shotgun. Ball on the 20, or sorry, Van Buren standing at the 20-yard line. Ball on the 25. Throws the out route. That's complete. It looks like there to number 9, Parker Wollaston. And Wollaston going to get out to try to see where they're going to mark it. They're going to mark that right on the marker there, and that's going to be a first down.
And the other thing is the clock does stop on first downs.
So minute 3 to go before halftime. Van Buren drops back to pass with some times, looking over the middle of the field. He's got a man, first down, Orem. Lots of room to run. That's Herman. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. That's a first down. That's just what you wanted if you're Orem. That simple play you talked about, a slant route that Herman gets wide open.
Yeah, he not only does he get wide open, but the coverage is a huge prevent defense. I think Spanish Fort needs to come up on these guys a little tighter, or they're going to give up some points.
56 seconds to go before halftime. Van Buren on the option. Here's the pitch to Natoa. Natoa to the 20, and he's going to go down at about the 19-yard line. That's another first down for Orem, and a flag comes in late.
And you can, well, we'll see what the flag is, but you can run that option because you have 3 timeouts, even if it gets stopped. So
at this point, too, and this is, it looks like a late hit against
it's
Spanish
targeting,
Fork.
targeting to the head, or a penalty.
And so that's going to now definitely move the chains half the distance probably here. They're going to put the ball on about the 10-yard line. Your whole playbook here, if your Orem's open for you.
It is, and they still have 48 seconds. They've gone 45 yards in just 30 seconds of game time.
41 seconds on the clock. Van Buren to throw. Got a man. Touchdown, Orem. As it was Van Buren there. That's Codner for the touchdown. And a very quick drive, and Orem's got some points here before the half.
Yeah, and Cody Conner comes up with the touchdown catch that time, and Orem is back in this thing just in a matter of a few seconds. Don't they look a lot more comfortable going fast than they do trying to milk some clock?
Devin Argyle was the man in coverage there, as that's going to bring on Gomer now for the extra point. Hunter Van Buren, the quarterback, to hold. Snap on its way. Hold is good. The kick is up and straight through the uprights. And with 39 seconds to go before halftime, Spanish Fork 19, Orem 14. And so, Chris, all of a sudden a game where you looked at it and you said, okay, if you're Spanish Fork, you got some distance. And a matter of about a minute and a half, Orem said, not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast. And, you know, like you mentioned about extra points, those two might come back to haunt Spanish Fork. And anytime a team scores like that right before the half, really, they take the momentum into the locker room, and sometimes they come out and get after it in the second half. Momentum is a fickle thing here at the high school level, and it does change quite often, though.
So 39.1 is going to be Saili going back deep to return for Spanish Fork. In fact, it's only Saili back, standing right now at his own 10-yard line. Spanish Fork kind of looks like they're protecting against if Orem was to try to maybe do a short kick and try to recover it here. I don't know why they would, but Spanish Fork moving that whole kind of second and third line of guys up where Saili's the only one back deep.
Maybe the coaching staff saw something on film and they need to protect against it, but you're absolutely correct. They have a lot of guys close up. I imagine we'll see him retreat back as soon as the ball is kicked.
Saili now standing on his own 15. Gomer has the ball teed up on the 40. Hands up in the air, we're set and ready to go. Here's the kick. It's going to be kind of that low, deep kick, actually. I lost it in the lights, and that one goes back into the end zone in 39 seconds. I completely lost that one there, Chris, in the lights.
Yeah, and well, that side of the field's very well lit. On the other side, we're missing a bank of lights, so I wonder if that'll become a factor as it gets darker here in the night. But the good news is we do have a full moon. Beautiful full moon tonight.
39 seconds here to go before halftime. We're gonna honor the baseball and the softball state championship teams for their state championships they earned back last May before we send it to Ken and Sam, who will do the halftime show here. So you'll see that before we send it to them. 39 seconds to go. Kiesel dropping back to throw. Gets Pendleton, and Pendleton in and out of his hands as he just went to run before he caught the ball, and he's frustrated after that drop.
And that's one of those scenes where you got to be mentally tough. You got to remember, catch, then run, and that's hard to do when you're young and excited, and you got all that adrenaline running in a high school football game.
Especially after Pendleton just had that touchdown after he beat Ride Casper the last time. 2nd and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. Kiesel drops back to pass, steps up. Now he's going to be hit, and he's going to get a couple of yards out to around the 23-yard lines, but that clock's going to run, and that might end the first half here. I think they'll have to do one more play.
I think they're good. The play clock's well, you're right. They'll have to do one. I would probably just run it up with Funa. Maybe something good happens, but I wouldn't take another chance downfield. Although Orem does have their timeouts.
And it looks like Orem did use their first timeout there, it looked like, because they had 3, and now it's only showing 2 on the board.
They're trying to change the clock here as well.
Trying to get that all figured out here as both teams will head over to their respective sidelines. Chris, I know we're not quite to halftime yet. I would typically wait till halftime, but what's standing out right now about these two teams for you?
I think both defenses played pretty well, considering both these teams can throw the ball very well. And also, sorry, Ryan just disrupted me and showed me that Salem Hills is getting beat. Was that Stansbury?
Yeah, Stansbury, which is kind of interesting. Sorry, I don't mean to distract you there, Chris.
It's easy to do, no worries.
But, one of those things here when you take a look at this first half where kind of this game of this momentum shift where Spanish Fork gets the momentum and then all of a sudden Orem comes back. This is setting up to be quite the second half.
And that's what I love about sports is you never know what's going to happen. And so far, both teams have been going back and forth. The Dons did have 19 points unanswered, but it looks like Orem's here to fight.
Kiesel drops back to pass, has some time, throws over the middle. That one batted a nice diving deflection there as it looked like Kevin Balzer, number 24, up to make the diving stop there.
Great coverage that time. Kiesel put the ball where he needed to, but the window wasn't big enough, and they'll have to punt here. And this is dangerous if they snap the ball over the head here of number 12, Wee Stanton. You never know what's going to happen on these special teams. They've had some real difficulty snapping the ball.
And there's a high snap, but the flags fly, and this is probably going to offsides, it looks like, going to be against the Tigers. So a signal thereby looks like our linesman. I don't know if is that the side judge, Chris, or the linesman?
That's the side.
Okay, side judge. Okay, perfect.
Well,
I don't know.
They used to have, I don't know.
They used to have the
L and S. I think it's the linesman, and the side judge is back here. I think you were right.
4th and 3, Stanton again in a pump. Much better snap. He's going to get up, kind of just shanked it off the side of his foot. It's going to be out of bounds here at around the 39, still walking, 43-yard line. So with 18 seconds to go and 2 timeouts, if you're Orem now, you have a chance to play for some more points here before halftime.
You do, but Jax Tobiasen caught that ball at about the 41, 42, and then they walked it to the 43. That thing had to have gone out of bounds earlier, but Orem's going to go fast here.
18 seconds, 2 timeouts for the Tigers. Teams are ready to go. The officials just kind of getting everything ready to go here, and now we're set. Van Buren from shotgun, 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Van Buren drops back to pass with some time, looking down the sideline. Got a man. That's caught at the 15, still on his feet. And that's number 3. That's Jake Herman. And now all of a sudden with 10 seconds to go, 2 timeouts, Orem's going to go really quick.
I can't believe this. Spanish Fork had a 19-7 lead with 1:10 to go, and now they might be trailing at half.
Clock running, 7 seconds on the clock. Van Buren back to throw, fade route to the corner of the end zone, and he overthrew. Codner looked like the intended receiver. Now you have 3 seconds, and it looks like they're going to run out the field goal team here.
And that'll cut the lead to 2, and another field goal would give you the lead. That's where those extra points are so critical, as you've brought up. We keep hammering on that, but it is an important part of the game. Is it Ryan Gomer back to kick?
Junior kicker going to come in. Orem late getting the final lineman in on the play there.
Gomer's been kicking the ball well tonight. Definitely has the leg to put it up and in.
It's going to be about, I believe, a 42-yard kick. And now we're going to see timeout called by, I would think, Spanish Fork, and it will be. So now icing the kicker.
We got to work on your math there. They're lining up to kick it at the 20, so that would make it a 30-yard kick.
Oh, yeah, we make it a 30. 18 plus 12 is 30.
So,
you know, Chris, you're going to get used to this. You know, Jerry, you know, when I did Maple Mountain basketball, math, not my forte.
Yeah, we got to apologize to everybody. We're not good at math and we're not good at grammar. So, but besides those two things, we're good at something. We're still trying to figure out what it is, though.
I mean, eventually, I guess we'll figure it out. But we hope everybody's having a great Friday night here as we get ready to kick off your weekend. Thank you for tuning in to high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network. I'm Ryan Pickens alongside my partner Chris Hurst and our entire Spanish Fork Community Network team with you here at Spanish Fork High School, where we've had quite the long first half as it's almost 1 minute shy of 8:30.
It has been a long first half. There's been a lot of possessions, a couple of injuries.
And now a timeout Orem here.
But, you know, what a beautiful night. And there is a lot of people here at these games. I mean, we went to all the Maple Mountain games, but I don't think Maple Mountain was getting nearly that many people to their
There's
games.
people. I wish we could get a shot from the top here and just get a shot, kind of an aerial kind of a shot, because the whole Orem side is packed. There's people all the way around the track. Some people, I guess, getting maybe some exercise in by walking some of the track. I mean, everybody's packed in here, and so that's definitely something interesting here. Thank you as we get that aerial shot. Our great crew does a great job whenever we have a request to get that in there. As you see the Orem sidelines, this place is packed. Even looking out towards the parking lot here, all the neighborhood parking is full. This is pretty fun for my first Spanish Fork home football game. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Great atmosphere here.
Gomer set, ready to go now. Van Buren to hold. Snap is good. Spanish Fork almost jumped, and a flag. I think this is going to be a procedure. Both teams pointed the other way. We'll see here how they do that, and it's going to be a procedure call against Orem.
That end guy, all he has to do is let somebody run into him, and he goes ahead and just jumps that time.
So that's going to move it back now to a 35-yard kick.
35 yards if they're still going to kick it, and it looks like they are. Gomer's got a good leg. He was on those extra points. He's been putting it deep.
He was kicking them from about 45 in warm-ups today. Here it is. 3.2 seconds on the clock. Van Buren to hold. Snap is down. Kick is up. It looks good. I think he hooked it, though. And he missed it. He hooked it. So maybe that extra 5 yards, he had plenty of leg on it. He just missed it, kind of hooked it to the right. And at the end of the first half right now, it's 19-14 in favor of Spanish Fork here. Now, I believe we're going to keep it here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're keeping it here to get ready to honor the baseball team before we send it to break here, as we just get ready here. As we just got some pronunciation guide here for the Orem Tigers given to us here. They've been very hospitable here to us here. We're going to get ready here to believe are we sending it to break, or are we keeping it here? We're going to keep it right here. And now let's go down to the midfield here to honor the baseball team and the softball team here at Spanish Fork High School. Spanish Fork defeating Maple Mountain in that 4A state championship game. They'll head off, and now we'll have the softball team come on.
How awesome is that both your baseball and softball teams in the same year, and they've done it multiple times.
And both teams win the game, Chris. I was obviously saw the boys, the state baseball tournament, but they both win in walk-off fashion against your crosstown rival. I mean, that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but to have the top two teams in 4A reside, their high schools both reside here in Spanish Fork, that's a credit to all the accelerated baseball that goes on in this city. I know it's a huge sport. All my neighbors are into it, but great job for these Spanish Fork softball and baseball teams from last year. That
baseball game, very exciting. A game you saw right here on Spanish Fork Community Network. I think it's a great just for the athletic programs in general to have the two schools. I mean, I understand, Spanish Fork has this great baseball history. Maybe Maple Mountain still kind of building that history. Maple Mountain being, of course, a newer school. But when you have that opportunity to have the two teams across town rivals compete for the state championship, that's a great, not just for the schools, but that's great for the city of Spanish Fork as a community.
Yeah, and I think they've embraced these championship teams. A lot of people show up to those baseball games over there at in Orem at UVU.
And so just such a great moment here to honor those teams, a great accomplishment here. They're going to wrap this up here. We're going to take a break here on the Spanish Fork Community Network, and then when we come back, we're going to set it down to the sidelines to join Sam and Ken for their halftime show. Once again here from Spanish Fork High School at halftime, it's the Spanish Fork Dons 19 and the Orem Tigers 14. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork. MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Hi, welcome to Spanish Fork High School. We're here at the halftime show. Sam, we're here with a beautiful night, full moon over our shoulder. What could be better?
I tell you what, not a whole lot of things. And the fact that the Dons are up right now 19-14, I think is also kind of a nice thing. Definitely Jordan Smith's feeling some pressure right now. They gave up a quick touchdown towards the end and then turned the ball over and nearly gave up another one, but luckily we were able to get that field goal to go a little bit wide left.
Oh yeah, I mean Spanish Fork, yeah, right, it's right. And Spanish Fork, it's been, you can tell, still early in the season, lots of turnovers, lots of penalties, and that's kind of, Spanish Fork, one play that sticks out in my mind just as I'm thinking, fake punt, extends the drive, we go in and score a touchdown.
That was absolutely huge. It was a time where there was kind of a momentum shift that was waiting to happen. The defense was playing really tough for both teams, both Orem and Spanish Fork, and that something needed to break, and that fake punt was a great call at a perfect time, and it obviously worked. So I think that really broke things open for the Dons because they scored 2 quick touchdowns after that.
Right, and it was a good time for halftime to get here. We maybe lost a little bit of the momentum. Spanish Fork will be receiving the kickoff for the second half and maybe turn things around. But one thing's apparent to me is we're playing a lot better opponent than we were a week ago tonight.
We absolutely are. Their secondary is really a good secondary. Their D-line is awesome. They're putting a ton of pressure on Nate Kiesel, which is really throwing our game plan off. I think that our run game looks really solid through their defense, but it's only because we're setting it up with some good pass plays. And Nate's, he's having to kind of scramble around and create a little bit tonight, which is something that he didn't have to do a whole lot last week.
Yeah, that's true. And as I noticed as they came in a straight defense, Orem, at first without any blitz, without any stunts, he had a lot of time. And he was looking around. And then all of a sudden, about the end of the first quarter, they changed things up, started stunning a little bit on defense and got some guys free and kind of made life miserable for him a couple times.
They absolutely did. And I'll tell you what, as you talked about, to open the game up, Spanish Fork had their backs against the wall pretty much the entire first quarter. I mean, I would say a good portion of that first quarter, they had their backs against the wall, really bad field position. Punts weren't really getting off great. We weren't really doing much on offense. And then all of a sudden we were able to find a little openness and made a play happen and got a touchdown to make it 6-7. I think a big key though tonight, Ken, is going to be special teams. We just got them to go wide right with a little bit of pressure. got them to jump off sides and forced them back, which I think probably helps with a little bit going wide right. But also, we're just going to have to continue to apply pressure, and special teams is going to be a really big factor tonight.
Yeah, I really hope that the 2 extra points that we missed don't play into the end of this game. I mean, this is going to be a close game, going to go down to the wire. So obviously, execution, penalties, so many penalties, both sides. That have just been taken. They kind of negated some big gains for both teams, and I'm sure that's what the coaches are talking about right now, and they're at halftime.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, and it's a fun night. We just had an opportunity to recognize the 2015 state champions, boys and girls. It was fun to see some of those football players in their uniforms, sweaty and dirty, standing out there. But I'm sure that Jordan got them in there really quickly and is talking to them about momentum shift. I mean, that's got to be the key right now, because I would say Orem took the momentum back right there at the end on a couple of big plays. Spanish Fork's got to come out and fire and strike fast.
Yeah, Spanish Fork had a nice lead. They're looking comfortable. Kind of like the half ended a few more minutes earlier for Spanish Fork than it did Orem, and then they made a couple of big drives at the end to make it close. But, it's a great night. If you've been out to dinner, it's not that late. Look at the full moon. The temperature's perfect. You ought to come down and watch this. Stands are pretty full. Good, Orem's pretty well represented on the other side, and, I mean, this is what high school football is all about.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we would hope for is maybe a little bit greener grass out here. We've got a few dead spots, but other than that, a fantastic night. The Dons are playing really tough. Defensively, they're playing really tough. Offensively, they're still trying to find their rhythm, but they're almost there. I can see it. Isaac Pendleton's having a big night, so there's a lot of really good things that are going for us tonight.
A couple of big plays for Spanish Fork. Isaac Pendleton getting loose and scoring, and a great throw and catch to Jackson Higginson in the end zone. He just, wasn't a great pass, but he just used his body to shield the defender. The last minute timed his jump perfectly, came down for a touchdown, and got Spanish Fork, got the momentum on their side early.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I want to point out as well, Nate Kiesel has really put a lot of balls on the money tonight. And, we've had quite a few drops. That's one area that we have got to get stronger as a football unit. We've got to start catching the football a little bit on the Spanish Fork side.
And I agree totally. And it seems like we've done a little more successful on the long pass. The short and intermediate routes are what we're struggling with. Yeah. Long throws are pretty accurate. They're there, and guys are open. It's the short routes that maybe in the intermediate routes that maybe we could clean up a little bit for the second half.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they're going to come out. And again, I think that first series is going to be really important. If you don't go down and score or get a bunch of first downs, you've got to have a big stop on defense right now to really get that momentum back.
So Spanish Fork will receive the opening kick.
They will.
The worst thing that can happen is 3 and out. The best thing that's happened is a sustained drive, get down and make something happen early, and kind of not give Orem that hope that they're back in the game.
Yeah, I don't even think you have to go down and score to get that momentum back. I think it's just important to get out there and like you said, have a very sustained drive. If they do that, I think they're right back in the ballgame in terms of momentum.
I didn't really see any significant injuries. Lofa Funa went down, slow to get up. Everybody holds their breath at that point, but he came back a couple plays later and was going. Isaac Pendleton took a shot in the end zone, and he was back a couple plays. So as far as I know, I think Don should be healthy going into the second half.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk to the team doctor, Dr. Wallenstein, and he actually said that Lofa had a little bit of cramping going on. They looked like they were messing around with his knee, but everything's good. He was back in the game and played. Isaac Pendleton, as you mentioned, took the big shot. I talked to the doctor again. He said no issues at all. He got the wind knocked out of him, and he's going to be just fine.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we're ready for a big second half. It's a lot of fun. Orem comes, 20 miles south to Spanish Fork, and it'd be fun to send them home a little bit miserable on a perfect night for football. So if you'll stay tuned, we're about ready for the second half kickoff. Spanish Fork to receive the kick, and we say go Dons for the second half.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Good night.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork. MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.